Good morning. Good morning. In less than an hour, aircrafts from here will join others around the world, and you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind. That word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interests. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom, not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win today, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, "We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today we celebrate our Independence Day." I am Corion, your witch in residence, and if you can't tell from that opening speech what we're covering today, I don't know what to do for you. This is one of arguably my favorite movies of all time. I think there's some very valuable lessons we can take away from what is admittedly a fun, cheesy popcorn flick. But before we do, I am going to once again make my plea. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. It completely helps the channel out. I am desperately trying to get my way all the way up to 1,000 subscribers. I can do it with your help. I know you can do it. Let's do this together. So give it a like, give it a share, bug your friends, bug your neighbors, whoever you have to talk to. But let's make this happen, guys. With that obligatory ritual out of the way, let's dig in to Independence Day. Now, to give a quick recap, aliens invade Earth, aliens defeated by computer virus, America. Yeah. Now, what can we actually take away from this? Well, the America in Independence Day isn't really that different from America today. There was a lot of division, a lot of politics, a lot of people being angry at each other. But if we remember what Ronald Reagan said to the UN, actually, that he often wondered what would happen if there was an external threat and how quickly our differences, political, spiritual, societal, would suddenly be put aside to deal with a threat from beyond the stars. And I think this is what this taps into very uniquely. Everybody in this video has different ways of viewing the world. One of the main character's fathers is a very, very Jewish man. Who, doesn't leave his home in New York that often. We have a divorcee. We have people of various philosophical and political stripes. But you know what? They put that all aside because they realize that that kind of external threat to all of humanity takes precedence over whatever petty squabbles we have. And you know what I think is kind of sad? That it would take an external threat like that for us to realize that while we may disagree on some things, it would be better if we realize that those things we can debate on but shouldn't divide us. Unity is more important now than ever, and finding common ground, finding a middle ground, and finding a balance between all the philosophical ideas out there is absolutely paramount to us moving forward as a people now. Admittedly, I am not American. I am Canadian, so I watch from a distance. But seeing it, I can't help but feel deeply united with my American brothers when I say we need to put the differences aside. We need to stop shouting at each other and start listening to each other and saying, instead of "I'm digging my heels in," saying, let's find some common ground. Let's find things we can agree with and build on those. Maybe find a balance that is going to work for everybody. Because at the end of the day, when we're so factionalized, no one's going to be able to move forward without everyone else. So we need to build some consensus. And that starts by saying, this is my brother. And nobody gets to fight with my brother but me. And if that's how I feel, if I truly care that much about him, than I care enough to work out our differences. Now, granted, it would probably be easier if tentacle monsters from the heavens were coming down to get us all to see that, but I don't think we need that. I think Americans, Canadians, everyone in the world is strong enough to mutually acknowledge that we are better when we sit and have polite discourse and work out our problems peacefully. I know everyone can agree to that. Anyone who's reasonable and just should be able to. After all, I think we can all agree that in a Independence Day scenario, we would, right? We even see in the movie, um, you know, Israeli pilots and Middle Eastern pilots putting aside their differences because they realize that even though they may not get along very well, the threat of annihilation trumps all of it. Well, guys, it shouldn't take annihilation for us to get to that point. It shouldn't take the end of the world for us to decide to save it. So let's do that. Let's save the world together. Let's come together in one voice. Now, how can we do that when things are so factional right now? All it takes is a group of people to stop fighting and start listening. We don't do that enough these days, right? We don't sit down and say, okay, let's hear your opinions. Here's my counter arguments. Now, these are the things that are the most concerning to me. I clearly understand these are the things that are most concerning to you. Let's work out some balance. Let's not try to win all the things. Let's not need all the money. Let's balance out things so that it's fair. Okay? That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get what you want every time. It just means you're going to probably get what you need. And I think all of us can agree that right now, getting what we need is far more important. And see, my concern is that we're going to have a political wave that swings one way so far that it galvanizes the other side. And then we just wind up in this infinite pendulum swinging back and forth. And that pendulum just keeps crushing the people in the middle who just want to live a good life, right? I think we can all agree to that. Now, me personally, when it comes to politics, I'll be completely honest. My general political stance has always been, so long as it does not result in me getting burned in the middle of town square, I'm probably going to be okay with it. Now, I know that's not a political stance that needs too much adherence to, but I think it's a fair one. Okay? So let's take a look. Let's, in the comments, figure out the things that are absolutely the most important and cherished to us. And then decide, once we know those things, allow other people to get in their point of view and see if we can't figure out a way to live together in peace. Okay? I know this one's going to be hard, but we've been building to this. If you've been watching my videos, if you've been paying attention to what I've been saying, we have been building to the point where we can have polite discourse with each other. Okay? And I encourage that. I encourage you to not take a stance of I need to win every single thing. Take a stance of these are the things that absolutely are most important to me. And I understand that they may not be as important to other people. So let's find a balance point where everybody's absolutely most important things are at the very least respected and at a point where we can negotiate together. Okay? Because I know you can do that. Because I talk with you guys all the time. And I'm super happy to talk to you guys all the time. Okay? Anytime you guys want to reach out on Twitter or in the comments to me, I answer every comment I possibly can on every video. Please continue doing that. Ask me anything, anytime. I'm always willing to talk to you guys. Okay? I am here for you the way you guys have so wonderfully been here for me. So I thank you for that. And let's keep building together. Let's keep growing as a community together. Let's embrace the concepts that, hey, the people outside my door are not completely and totally terrifying. They're just like me. They have needs, that wants, desires. And maybe if I work with them, they'll work with me. and we can reach out the hands of friendship and peace and build something amazing together, something that our forefathers on this Independence Day would be truly proud of. Okay? We have the capability as a society to do great things, to build incredible monuments. I've been to Washington, D.C. I have seen the amazing work of ingenious Americans coming together to work towards a common goal. I know we can do that because we've done it before. We can do it again. We can get to that point where civil discourse and reasonability reign once more. But we have to choose to do it. And it means putting away our differences. Okay? And as I said, it shouldn't take an alien threat. It should take the fact that this person is your brother. This person is your sister. Even if they come from different families, even if they come from different walks of life, they are as close to you as it can possibly get. And if it helps, think about it this way. If alien monsters had come down to the planet and were shooting everyone in sight, would you lift a hand to defend those around you? I think every one of us knows the answer is yes. So let's not let it take an alien invasion. Let's work on it together, peacefully and calmly, and without, the sword of Damocles hanging over our heads. So with all of that in mind, I'm going to ask you to pause and consider that for a few minutes and ask yourself, when it comes to your political opinions, if the world was ending, what would matter most? What would I need to make sure I could do to move forward in life as best I can? And then let's go there. Let's comment on that. Let's speak to those important things that make us human. Okay. In my tradition in craft, we have a pretty straightforward rule. Do whatever you want, so long as it does not cause significant harm, is what it boils down to. The actual translation is do what thou wilt, harm none. Okay. Now, let's be honest, harming none is virtually impossible, right? I mean, you got to eat a carrot to live, so you're technically harming the carrot. But the concept is to try to do as little harm as possible. Okay? So let's try to figure out a way to allow everyone to do what they need to do without causing harm to each other or ourselves. Okay? Let's figure that out. Let's work on that together. With that in mind, with those considerations, I'm going to say goodnight. Merry meet, merry part, merry meet again. To my American friends, happy Independence Day. To my Canadian friends, happy Canada Day. And to everybody else, have an absolutely awesome day. Take care.